Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our last webinar. This webinar will be talking about how we can use data to encourage cycling for journeys around the city, especially the city of Bruges. Today, we are joined by Evelyn, Koen, and Serge. Evelyn, it's all yours.
Thank you, Anthony. Good morning, everybody. My name is Evelyn. I work as an EU funding officer for the city of Bruges. I will give you a short introduction of the SCIFI project, the call that we are launching, after which I will give the word to my colleagues from our mobility department and experts in the field of cycling in our city and our data expert. In order to promote this call, we organized some webinars. You can find them on our YouTube channel. A general one has been given already. And now we go into detail of the specific one on cycling, on the process of the call, the timing, some details. And this is the last one of the thematic webinars. And we share this challenge with the city of Mechelen. The webinar will take about 40 minutes, maximum 20 minutes of presentation, and then there will be some room for Q&A. So questions can be typed in the YouTube channel, and we will answer them at the end one by one. So what is SCIFI? It's an EU Interact project financed by the Interact 2Cs program. We are doing this together with other partners in the project, some cities, Bruges, but also Delft, Mechelen, and some knowledge partners, as well as there are also business associations. We launch an accelerator for mid-sized cities, businesses, startups to create practical and sustainable solutions for specific city challenges. The focus is on data, open data, and the provision of smart city solutions, as we see that for the smart city story and specifically for smaller cities, mid-sized cities, it is important to open up data to have smart solutions in the end. We have 2 open calls. This is the first one, and then the next one will be opened up next year. So this call has been open since the 2nd of July for 3 months, so it will close quite soon, beginning of October. You can still apply for a few weeks. In this call, we have 7 challenges in 3 domains. It's about smart energy, clean environment, smart mobility, and the process is an online application process. There's an application form on the website. You can find there a registration form. You will have to explain your solution, what you will use the money for, and give a lot of more information, of course. After the call closes, we will do a review. We will have an interview with the shortlisted companies, and we will select 1 or more companies per challenge, and they will be allowed to set up their pilot, their proof of concept, so in 1 or more cities, and that will take roughly about 6 months. So there's a 6-month experimentation period. We hope that after those 6 months, we will have a working pilot, a working proof of concept, and after that might follow a full implementation. But for this first phase, we provide the pilot with about 10K of financing maximum. So here you see a rough timeline of the call. We've had a preparation period of 6 months already, as I said earlier. The call was open from the 2nd of July, and then we'll go on, we'll close on the 2nd of October, after which we will have a selection period, so selection interviews. And then we will have an experimentation phase of 5 months to develop the pilots in the cities. So hopefully in June 19, we will have some good prototypes and solutions. what we offer is the support of 10,000 euros for the development of a pilot or a prototype or a possible viable solution. And this offers as well the opportunity to implement solutions, not only to the cities of the SCIFI project, that's very important, but after each involved city, there is a city cluster. So that city cluster, those cities in our area, they are aware of what we are doing, and they are very interested in the results of our pilots and of the challenge we put forward. So it creates also the opportunity to have a co-creation process. This means that you will have direct contact with the city and the stakeholders, and that we do that because we want a solution to be tailor-made for our cities, and so that they really match our specific challenges. During that period, the companies will also receive support from our business partners in the SCIFI project, the ones you've seen in the previous slides. The knowledge institutions are ready to help regarding procurement, getting the product ready, etc. And then during and after this 6-month period, there will be also a lot of communication and dissemination activities. So it's a lot of visibility for you as a company and for your solution. And it's an excellent way to develop your network, to expand it with other cities, find investors, mentors, etc. So in the general webinar that you can also find online, it is said that the cities might buy extra materials such as sensors if it is necessary for the pilot. You will have access to a lot of data as well, and there will be a lot of open data sets provided in order to serve possible solutions. What is the funding for? It's for the prototyping of your solution, to test a solution in one or more cities. What can you enter in the budget is salary, travel costs, consumables, marketing, legal expertise, and some indirect expenses. If your pilot costs more, it is possible to enter that budget, but we will only fund up to 10K. If your budget is lower, then we will finance only the amount you need. And the cost of extra hardware, as said before, might be installed and might be purchased by the city itself. So you would not need to include that in your budget. Who can apply? Basically, everybody who has a legal entity can apply, both startups and student organizations, but also bigger or even smaller companies being able to offer smart city solutions. You have to be part of the EU 28 countries or within the Horizon 2020 project. Only single entities are allowed, so no consortia of companies. Your legal entity needs to be set up before the end of December when we proceed to sign our contract with you. And then for more details on the process of the application, you see here in front of you the link to our website. You will find there the application guide and also links to the other webinars offering a whole lot more information on the other challenges. As I said before, it's a collaboration between the city of Mechelen and Bruges. What we offer you is a mobility department specifically for Bruges. It's about 7 people who are experienced in mobility, cycling strategy. We had a cycling officer, and we had some first smart city initiatives already. We have a data expert in our organization as well. And we've won before a Smart City Agoria Awards with our Scan scooter. I will show you now a short movie showing the context in Flanders. It has been filmed in the city of Mechelen, and it will also give you some more information. I heard that there was some problem with the sound, but at least you had subtitles, so I hope you were able to follow the movie. In case you would like to receive it, I'm sure we will be able to provide it after this webinar. So here's another small map indicating where Bruges and Mechelen are located. And as I said earlier, this is a shared solution between those two cities, allowing you to develop a solution for one of the two cities, or we can select one company to do a pilot in both, or different pilots only in one. So there's a lot of opportunity for the development of solutions. This was the more general introduction. I will now give the floor to Koen van Steeland. He's our mobility expert for the city of Bruges. And it might be that the city of Mechelen will attend this webinar, but this was not sure in case questions arise for them.
Hello, everybody. My name is Koen van Steenland. I work for the mobility department of the city of Bruges. And you see, Bruges is located near the coast of Belgium, and we're the third biggest city in Flanders with almost 118,000 inhabitants, with a lot of schools and a lot of higher education as well. So we have 114 school locations over the whole city and almost 22,000 students and school children. Okay.
Is blokkeerd.
Okay. Like Evelyn said, it's not only Bruges, it's also Mechelen that is involved in this webinar. And yeah, we are facing some technical difficulties. So
just one thing, if Evelyn could mute her microphone, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because there's some kind of echo at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, hopefully this will be better. We changed it a bit, so we don't have any noise anymore on the background. So I was telling you about Bruges, but you also have Mechelen that is included in this project, and they are also located between Brussels and Antwerp, and they also have a historical city center like Bruges, and they have 5 smaller cities of 5 smaller villages that are together with them. They have 86,000 inhabitants. They have 71 school locations over the whole city and 20,000 students and school children. The general concern or the challenge we face is that we want more people biking into our city. There are already more people biking, but we still want more. And we want to have strong focus on children and their safety, because we think that if the routes are safe for the children, that also means that they're going to be safe for other people, for grown-ups or elderly. So we want increased uptake of cycling in our cities. And we want also a lot of people now commute by car and then they drop off their children, and we want that to be possible, that they do the journey from and to childcare, school, hobbies or youth activities by bike. The main concern now is most of the time is road safety. So what do we want to get from this project is we want some apps or services delivering new forms of hardware or tools that persuade or help people access cycling for all purposes. Tools to assist cities screen or evaluate safety and traffic circumstances, maybe smart tools or signage, smart route planners, tools that identify conflict areas and reduce conflicting priorities, or enabling conditions, bike sheds, bike lanes, that's more infrastructural, or even educational tools. With these tools, we want to get an increase in cycling in the relevant city, is it Bruges or Mechelen, especially amongst the target groups of school children. Reductions in accidents, especially on school journeys or journeys to the hobbies of the children. An increase in the perceived safety of cycling amongst citizens, because that's also a big problem now. It's not only the road safety, the actual road safety, but also how people think or are perceiving the situation. They think it's more unsafe than it actually is. We want fewer cars in the city center, and we want an increase in the number of children who know how to cycle safely and choose to cycle. That can be with their children or without, with their parents or without the parents. For this, I'm going to give the floor to my colleague Serge, who will be giving you more information about the data we already have.
Hello.
Serge, have you started speaking? Because we cannot hear anything. Hello? Serge? Serge, Evelyn Kuhn, can you hear me? Hello? Serge? Evelyn? Sorry, you cannot hear me either. We've got a problem with sound, but we're trying to fix this as soon as possible. Evelyn, Serge, Kuhn, can someone hear me, please? Hello? Hello?
Anthony?
Yes, Evelyn. So we couldn't hear anything of what Serge said. So if you could start over from the beginning of his part of the presentation, that would be great.
Sergio, could you start over?
Sorry.
Can you hear him now?
No, we cannot hear him. Can you take your microphone?
We will
Take the headset from Evelyn, yes.
Apologies, everyone, for the small inconvenience, but everything should be fixed pretty shortly. Serge, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me now?
You're still pretty far from it's better, but it's still very far from the microphone. So if you could get any closer, that would be great.
How about this?
Okay, that's better. If you could speak a bit louder, and I think we're good.
Okay, no problem. I have some information about the data which is being published by the city of Bruges. There's also some data sets which will be provided by the city of Mechelen. In general, what we will provide is some road and intersection information. Basically, information about the roads and the intersections, layout, that kind of information. Road works that affect the traffic. Measures about the traffic, so the density on certain roads, both motorized and non-motorized traffic. And then some general demographic measures, locations of where you can find popular destinations in our city. And finally, some traffic accidents information, also with the geolocation attached to it. All the data will be published on the data portal that you can find the link to at the bottom of the page. Thank you.
Thank you, Serge.
And here is some data for Mechelen as well. And also everything can be found on the data part. So for more information, you can find everything on websites, and you can also email us for question.
Okay, thank you everyone. Yeah, just to remind you all that, as Evelyn said, everything is available on our website, which is smartcityinnovation.eu. And all the webinars are now available, and this one will be available as well on each challenge page, or you can also find them, of course, on this YouTube channel. If you've got any question at all before the end of the call, before the call closes, do not hesitate to contact us at hello@smartcityinnovation.eu. And now it's time for questions. So please do not hesitate to ask your question in the chat section in the YouTube channel. And I've got one question to start with for you guys. You mentioned educational tools and you want more kids to go to school cycling. And you also, of course, described the data available. Of course, security first and safety first. Is, for example, a solution which would incentivize kids to get to school without taking the safety aspect into consideration, would you consider the solution as viable, or it needs to have the safety option in it?
My colleague Koen will answer. Can you answer, Koen?
I hope my microphone works.
Yeah, it does work.
That's okay then. We are mainly looking for the safety, for the road safety, of course, for the children. But it's also important to have air quality. For example, if you have less cars, we have more air quality. If they cycle a lot, they should be healthier as well. So we are mainly looking for road safety, but we can allow other things as well.
Okay, thank you, Koen. Okay, another question. What would be the ideal solution for you in Bruges? I'll ask the question to Mechelen later. But what would be the ideal solution for you? Of course, we don't want to influence any of the innovators, but if you had one ideal solution, what would it be?
That's a really good question, and I hope some of the companies that are listening will be able to answer that. Because our main criteria, our main objective is to keep not only the children but all cyclists or all road users safe. And if there is one perfect solution, that will be really good. But I think it will be more of a mix of different solutions to get to that same goal.
Okay, so basically taking into account all the aspects you mentioned in the presentation, that would be ideal.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have any questions at the moment. But people have asked questions during the previous webinars, and as you come last, maybe all the questions around the core and everything have been asked already. So I think it's time to wrap up and tell everybody that the call closes on the 2nd of October. If you want to apply, it's on smartcityinnovation.eu/apply. The platform we use is F6S. If you've got any questions, once more, hello@smartcityinnovation.eu. And do not hesitate. We'll be responding to you as soon as possible. You've got a bit less than 2 weeks to go. Good luck to everyone, and we hope to see amazing solutions in the F6S platform. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Koen. Thank you, Serge. Thank you, Judith. And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.